Hello everyone, I hope you're doing great. We are very excited. We're in Punta Uva today with Maya and Carlos. So we came here to learn a little bit about their experience coming to Punta Uva, for them to teach us about the place and their lifestyle here, and to tell us, why this place.
Oh, so I used to come here for my personal retreats. I used to live on the Pacific side, but when I wanted to get away, I came here, and something magical happened. It is a whole different type of lifestyle. It's so much more like Costa Rica. It has full-on nature. We have all the animals, like literally, if we looked over there, the monkeys would be there, the toucans. So we felt this was a place to make it our home, away from the hustle bustle.
And what are the things that you enjoy doing here? I mean, because you will full on tika. I'm very excited. And you were bragging about Carlos tortillas. So what do you enjoy? What are the quirky things about Costa Rica that you love?
I enjoy my tico husband making tortillas. This is what I love.
Every day.
Yeah, I don't try to do tortillas. I just eat them.
Okay.
But I do love, when we created the kitchen, we really wanted it to feel like we're here together. And so even when we have guests stay with us, we are always here in the kitchen cooking.
Yeah.
And they end up coming here and they're like, no, I had breakfast. We're like, you sure you don't want some? No, I guess I want some.
But this is a little problem. Your husband is a designer and a builder, because we changed the design like 5 times in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Because when we started at the beginning, the stove was there, but Maya loved to talk with people. And that is why we try to move the things around it. And
It makes sense.
Yeah, we
It
created it
makes
to sit, because I think we forget to sit and eat together. So we're eating with our phone, or we're eating with the computers in front of us, and here we cook and eat together.
Yes, and you're open air. I mean, we're gonna show you around because this is beautiful. But just being here, like, you see nature, you have an incredible garden. It's like being outside all the time. So this is amazing. And I think this is what people really want, just to integrate their life to nature and just make it feel seamless. And Carlos, we are very impressed, because I've seen what you've done here and how you were able to build for the area. There's challenges of building in paradise that you have tackled.
Yeah.
We were joking, because I was just looking at your drainage systems. Like, oh my God, that's so impressive. But there's just so many things that you have included. Tell us a little bit about the challenges of building in paradise, but like, how have you come across to solve them?
I didn't see the hard challenge. The only is find a way to build. It's really interesting how like you said, the challenge, the look for solutions for the area. That is the interesting part. That is why I'm learning, because I love to look for solutions. Part of that is find the right materials for the area, and it's easy maintaining. It's something not to work on. That is the way that we made our construction here. Functional designs, because it's important that, and feel the nature coming inside your house.
And this was a great example. When I built this kitchen, I wanted a mosquito nets. I was terrified of the mosquitoes. And Carlos said, well, why don't we do this? Why don't we build it?
Yes.
And then you see. I don't see mosquitoes ever. And
Right.
the thought of having mosquito net here is it's so normal for us. We're foreigners, because we are used to not having bugs around. Now, I grew up in Sweden. We have a lot of mosquitoes. But I was a little bit hesitant with nature being so close. And we're not used to having things be open. And this is the most freeing thing. If I want to go and pick the black pepper, which I picked earlier yesterday.
And try yourself.
Yeah, I dried them. And so here's the black pepper. You go to the garden and you pick up. I missed that. I wanted to live with nature, where my garden is outside, my spices are outside. We're making, fruits are outside. We're making gallo pinto, the traditional tico breakfast, and we're gonna go pick the cilantro in the garden.
I love
So
that.
that was something that Carlos is so great when he designs, because he goes, yeah, I know you like that, but would you be willing to try it a little differently? And so even with all of his clients, he does that.
Yeah.
And that was new for me.
It's important. To me, is keep the bare qualities. It's hard when you have, obviously, you have to put some branches, trees. You have to play safe, but you face for. But the important thing is I never use a big machines to do my projects. Why? Because you're going to believe the nature when you put a big machine inside damage a lot. And we didn't move at all the soil. That is why these gardens are amazing. Some part of the part you have to think through you want to develop the project, especially with this aquarium we have. Because we try to keep the soul of the nature inside of the project.
This was very important because as a foreigner, when I found this land, when they will show you, it was like we couldn't even enter the land because it was so overgrown.
Yeah.
And I had this vision, right? As a foreigner, we're like, oh, I'm going to buy this land and I'm going to build a center and la la la. I have all the vision, which was great. And then we realized we were fortunate enough to have COVID happen. So Carlos and I did all the gardens ourselves. So we tilled the land by hand. We dug up everything. We mixed the soil. And so what was fun about that is now our trees are growing perpetually. We have a garden expert that came. He said, I don't know how it does this because we don't use any pesticides. We don't use anything, but we prepare the land. And we treated it really like it was Mother Nature and us in quarantine during COVID, 9 hours a day.
9 hours a day.
Wow.
Yeah. So if you're turning around, literally every tree, every bush you see, Carlos and I have put in by hand. So that's the other magic of it. We know this land. We work with her.
And out of the places, because people come to Costa Rica and they get overwhelmed because Costa Rica is beautiful and there's just so many areas. But there's some things that are very unique of Punta Uva. Why did you pick this place? And in particular, what makes Punta Uva so special in the location? Because we want people that come here to understand one area versus the other and to be informed like why this is the place for me.
Well, one of the big parts of it is here in this area, the indigenous tribe or the advocates for the indigenous tribes won a big lawsuit where they're returning land to the indigenous tribes. So we have Puerto Viejo, which is our town. Then we have Playa Cocles. Essentially, all of Playa Cocles, this whole section, how many kilometers is Cocles approximately?
To be honest, it's like a
5 kilometers that have restrictions. So you are restricted if you buy anything in that zone. You can't transfer the title to your name.
Okay.
So then you have us, the Punta Uva, the little enclave, which has 0 restrictions. If you go down 1 kilometer this way, you're entering a nature reserve, a protected nature reserve, which starts at the end of Punta Uva and goes to Manzanillo and all the way into the Gandoca National Reserve. So you have this tiny little enclave, maybe a kilometer, where you have clean titles, where you can have ownership really easily. You also have very little room to construct. So as you can see around here, you're not gonna, that's a dead-end street with a brook and what do you call it, a river?
Yeah, a river.
Right? So you have setbacks. And so you have this unique ability that the people who choose Punta Uva, it becomes a very exclusive community in the way that it is limited. And so that's why I think.
And we keep the nature,
Yeah.
Here the idea the communities keep the nature. That is why when you come here, especially in this area, but you're right to the Pacific, so developed area. When you come here, you have the experience with the real nature. That is the incredible thing. You wake up in the morning, you hear the monkeys fly over you. You can see toucans, you can hear the birds every morning. That is the art for us.
And that's a wake up.
The wake up. Hey, for 4:30 on the morning. Let's go. Let's start your day. That is what is rich here. Actually, you take your equipment, you go to dive here 2 minutes walk from the beach. You dive, have this amazing ocean there.
Yes, we were traveling to the United States and we went to an aquarium.
Yeah.
And so we're walking this beautiful aquarium in
It's
Boston.
beautiful.
And then a week later we came home and we went to dive. And we said, Well, the fishes are right here, but I need to go to the Northeast America, United States, to see what we have here. And so what we feel is you still walk everywhere. Most people get around on bicycle. So you leave your car, you have freedom here. And it is an experience that most people are craving now, I think. We miss the connection.
In your climate, I was so surprised by it.
Yeah.
You were explaining to me this is amazing because there's a lot of people from many parts of the world. They want to be in the coast. They want a milder climate.
Yes.
So, and I was just blown away by what you were telling me about temperatures here. So your what is your average day like in reference to?
So the Caribbean coast has its reputation of it's raining all the time. That's not at all true, as you can see even here. So we have a moderate climate. And so at night, it goes down to about 17 degrees, 18, 19 degrees. So in Fahrenheit, that's about like 65, 70. And then it gets hotter in the day, or humid, depends on the climate. And then it cools down again at night. And so we have the mornings and the nights that are temperate, that feels like we put a sweater on it. So, yeah. So after a while, even our friends that have come to visit, they were concerned, especially from the Northeast in the United States and Canada. Their concern is going to be too hot. And they'll say this is hot. Or Sweden, for that matter. What we also love is that you have these rainy nights. And so you have more consistency in the climate. In the Pacific side, as we know, you have a lot of heat, and then you have a lot of rain. So here it's like the cadence is every day. It's a little bit of everything. So that's what we do.
And one question, because when you build this place, you build it with a purpose, earth and water, and you create a sanctuary, but you did it for what you were doing at home, for your clients and to share with them. So tell us about building that and what were you be able to create here and what has been enjoyed in this property.
So I am an executive coach and I coach global leaders. And around 2019, I wanted them to have a place where they could get away from their busy lives and come here. So that's why we built a small retreat center. It was never open to the public. I never wanted it to be. We've never Airbnb'd it. And we have only clients that come here on invitation because we wanted to maintain the integrity. And so I built it for that. And then I realized I really prefer less groups and more one-on-one. So it shifted my focus a lot. And also Carl's a builder. And so he builds outside the zone a lot. And so then I'm here by myself and I have my clients coming. But part of what I think could be so interesting here is that the retreat feel, small retreats. So we get a lot of requests. Can we do a big retreat? No. The smaller retreats is okay.
And also what you done on the experience here that people really wanted to come and stay is not just about the coaching, it's also about you're doing both. You're doing the place and they just get to disconnect. So I think this is the place where you come in when you really want to connect with family also.
Yeah, with family too.
With friends, with people that you want to meet, and just to be able to provide those services. And people think about that when they think about Costa Rica. This is what they're expecting. They just don't want to come to an all-inclusive hotel. They just want to have this.
So you're asking a good question because the people who come here, who come back all the time, we just had families that were friends together since kindergarten. And they said to us, we feel so safe here. We feel so protected. What I mean is like we're here together. We're not here, we're going here. We go to the beach, we come home, we cook together. So it's creating community differently and it's vacationing differently. So we have another women's retreat coming. And that's a lot of women that come for the weekend. They don't know each other, but they want community. And also when I created this, I really wanted people to be able to go back to nature. I had 2 individual retreats, one from Saudi Arabia, one from Dubai. Imagine some completely different environments. And they came here and they were just blown away by what the nature does here. And that's something we can't create a fake environment, right? And so when we have people coming here that are not from here, it's like magic. That's what they all say now. And we have a survey. We ask, if we change this location, but we kept the same program, would you still come? No. That's what they say.
I can see why. I can see why. So the type of retreats that you have done have to do a lot with coaching, but the way that you build this, who do you envision here? Because I know you're selling. We'll get into that later, but why do you think somebody will want to be here, and what could they make of this? Because you made it. You're incredible, renowned coach, so it has worked perfectly for you. But who's the type of people that you think will really be here and be like, this is exactly what would fit my needs?
I would say families is a big one. So if you had a larger family and you don't want to pay to go on vacation all the time, and you had a place where you could get together as a family. Our units are designed very uniquely. I can get into all the details later, but one is handicap accessible, for example. So if you have an older grandmother who wanted to come, she can come, or you can come and sit. If you have kids, there's a pool. You can walk to the beach. So it has a lot to offer families. So we would say that. Would you agree, Carlos?
Yeah, that is why we put the name. We would change a little bit, Air and Water Home.
Air and Water Home, yeah.
Because everybody the point, it's like a right.
I feel like I'm at home. And also our guests always say, thank you for allowing us to share the space with you. We are so grateful that we get to come here. And we're always like, well, of course you get to come here, but there's something about it that it's hard to put into words. I also think if somebody was interested in creating a yoga retreat or any kind of small group activity, you can also, if you wanted to, you could make it an Airbnb, right? You could make a monthly rental out of it if you wanted to. There's so many options. But I would say the right scenarios for somebody who wants to create something more intimate versus a lot of turnover. But that would be my first.
And why are you selling? Because this is paradise and everybody wonders. That's the first thing that a client's going to be like, this is so perfect. Why are you selling it? I know why.
Yeah.
But tell me why.
We'll tell you why. Well, one of the pieces to the puzzle is that Carlos works away, right? So he goes to wherever he's building a project. And so the other one is I have a focus on my actual business that has shifted since we built this. And a big part of that is I have to travel a lot globally. And so then I don't get to be here. And so really what we feel is, and maybe you want to chime into this, come a little closer. Because we are creators. So Carlos and I designed this together. We had so much fun, 6 years creating, designing, and we feel like we actually did it for somebody else, not for us.
Wow, that's amazing.
The fun part, we love, like I just say, we love create. And we are finished the part.
Yeah.
Then we are wonder what is the next?
Yeah.
What is the next step? What are we going to do? We have plenty of projects, and when you finish one project like a couple of this one, you say, okay, it's perfect, it's done. But we enjoy create, like I tell you, we're not ready for run the business. It's the fun part, We love people, both friends, so recommendations. We love share these place with them.
But it feels like we created a business for somebody, but we don't want to run it.
Yeah.
So, and we spoke a lot about it for a year before we even decided to sell it, because it's our home, right? And so we live here on the property. We don't live on the side, but we're fortunate to have another location that we're not going to leave this area.
Okay.
Yeah. This is our home.
I can see
but we
how
need something
difficult for you to leave this area.
Yeah, it's what we call home, and we just want a smaller space because of our schedule.
Every time we leave the place, we buy.
Yeah.
Our soul is like a clock.
Yeah.
We're back.
We're back home. Yeah. And we do like to travel and go places, but this is where we call home.
And what is a typical day? Like you wake up, what is like to live here?
Okay, at 4:30 a.m. the monkeys start. The howler monkeys, they sound like gorillas. So our foreigners are very scared until they see that they're about this size. So the birds and the monkeys wake us up around 4:30. We get up, we make our coffee. We're very particular about our coffee. We're in Costa Rica, so we are fortunate to have amazing coffee. We make our coffee, and then we take the dogs for a walk here on the property. And they have their rhythm, and we sit usually at the lookout, and we watch the ocean from our land, and we talk about what we're grateful for.
Yeah.
So we do 5 gratitude practices every day. We sit there, and we sometimes cannot believe we did it. Still, so many years later, we're like, how is this possible?
Yeah.
And then usually we go surf, or we paddleboard, or we snorkel, or you swim.
Yeah.
We do some kind of a connection to nature. And then we
start with
Carlos makes breakfast. Not my favorite meal to cook. And then I work virtually. And so here, what's great is we have reliable internet. I run my entire global business from here. I mean, you could also just work from here.
Yeah, and just enjoy it.
So you could just live in a different lifestyle. And then we cook together. We usually work, and then we have lunch, and then we make dinner together. And we're one of those odd people. We almost never leave. We almost don't eat outside. But here's the difference between where we've lived and other places in Costa Rica, and that is we have some of the best dining here. So the restaurant there, most of the people who moved here were from Europe. So we have amazing Italian restaurants here. We've got local, of course, like rice and beans and specific dishes from the Caribbean, so a lot of Caribbean influence. But here you can get, within 10 minutes, you'll get some of the best restaurants you've ever seen. So people come here, they're always amazed by it.
That's fantastic.
So that's really nice. We don't have a lot of the North American influences that we have on other sides, good or bad, depending on. So sometimes people will say, what is the community like? Are there a lot of expats? There are quite a few expats, but they come from a blended, not so specific.
You know what is this here in the area too?
Oh, but you're really well full, Tika. I love that.
Okay, so come on, foreigners, let's check this out.
You're gonna love this.
If you're not from Costa Rica, this was one of my big surprises. Coffee is in a song. That's what I call it. Is it the name of it? The song?
Bolsa.
Bolsa.
About it.
It's like the fancy pour over that has existed here since the beginning of time. My mother-in-law will not use the machine. If I don't have the song, this is really hard. Oh, French press, no, forget it. And she only drinks volume.
I love that.
We have in the refrigerator back for her. But this is absolutely the most delicious. And we're so blessed that we were able to get a gift of a local coffee in Costa Rica. It's delicious. So we always have a fridge.
Back to the area, this is incredible how many colors you can find here. Actually, I showed organic products or foods around the world. That people produce here that is incredible. The quantity of the foods you can find, like fruits, vegetables. It's really good.
Yeah, and so if someone said to me, when you sell this, what will you miss the most? Right now, all the fruit trees are blooming that we planted from seed. We'll only take a garden tour later. So my very first time having jackfruit. So jackfruit is a fruit from Southeast Asia, and a lot of that climate is very similar here. So it's very popular, jackfruit. Have you ever tried jackfruit?
Actually, I haven't.
Okay.
I would love to try it.
I remember it was the most delicious experience. I saved the first seed of my first jackfruit, and we're going to go look at that tree that is now bearing fruit. So 6 years later, we're actually here, if you plant something, and one of our neighbors here, local, he said to us, here's what you do. You take a bite of a fruit, and you throw this couple of seeds. Take a bite of a fruit, and you throw a couple of seeds, and that's how you have your garden. So we can see the little seedlings here. Those are all from the fruits that we have bought and grown up.
What do you have in the garden? Because I see the trees, but you have quite a variety.
We do. We have sweet carambola. So sweet star fruit is this tree. It produces gorgeous. You see the bananas hanging over there?
Yeah.
Up there in the top. So we have had, enough of the bananas already. We've had more bananas.
For the birds.
Yeah, we leave them for the birds. We can take a look. We have jackfruit. We have this bush here called pitanga, which is an acidic fruit, a cherry fruit, local. We have arasa, we have snake fruit, we have jackfruit, we have avocado, we have wanawana, soursop. We have a cherry mangosteen that is acidic as well.
Mangoes, but
Mangoes haven't bloomed yet, and so we planted 30 fruit trees.
30 fruit trees.
30 fruit trees. Yeah. So the fun part about, and someone asked me, they said, well, you've done all this work, like how are you going to leave it? Because Carlos and I never create things to hold on to. So I left my home of Sweden when I was 18. And I know you've left your home as well early. And so for us, we live differently. So we wanted to create roots, literally trees. We've done that, but we don't believe it's for us. It's very, right, Carlos? It's such an interesting experience.
It's something to share.
It's something to
We
share.
love share that.
So yeah, and the black pepper we have in the garden, which is great. And so we had a team of, we had 5 families and we had 6 kids from 4 to 9 come and visit. So we harvested the pepper, which grow on that vine over there, and they put it in the dehydrator overnight. And they came up and the first thing they said is, Maya, where's the black pepper? And then of course, you just peel them off and you put them in the grinder, and we're going to cook with them today. Yeah. So this is the part that's so fun for people who are gardeners. In most part of the world, there's a dying season. So you have snow where you have a season. We don't have a dying season, which means there's a lot of gardening going on here. But also things grow. So this is what I probably enjoy the most about this location.
But you don't only, I mean, you have your business, you travel, you do so many things, you have projects. Yet, being here, you found the time to also start an organic line of products.
Yes.
So I think this is like, you really integrated nature very well with you, because you even created something from nature. And I had your conditioner for Milan this morning, and I was like, this is amazing, like that you get inspired and come here and are able to honor what you have around and introduce it into something that is going to be of daily use. So how do you start it? Because that's quite a lot of, that's a big endeavor.
I think, again, going back to this whole, like, Carlos and I are creators. So I love creating I knew what I wanted to create. So when I moved to Costa Rica in 2016 full time, I had this vision. But it wasn't until 2019 that I bought the land. So I had a lot of time to prepare and plan. And I also, part of my business, I work with luxury hospitality with clients. And so I wanted to create something that didn't exist. So we always say we're not a hotel because people are so confused. But then what are you? We're in by invitation only home away from home. So I wanted all of it to be quality. So when we designed everything, we chose the highest level of quality because we were living in it too. But also my clients that I work with are used to a certain standard. And a lot of times when we got from our team organized, like partners, we had bird watching organizations that we worked with, they do tours and they come here. And she said, we only use you because you guarantee the standard. And I think here in the Caribbean, there's such a wide range. People use the word eco-lodge. Well, that can mean a lot of different things. Yes, we'll leave it at that. So when they come here, the first thing they always say, wow, but there's quality here. So that is Carlos. And that's both of our, yeah, but Carlos then delivers on the construction.
And if you cannot find it, what I noticed is like, if you cannot find what works, you create it and you build it.
That's it, right?
Yes.
And a lot of times Carlos would advise his clients that build in this area where they have, like I did, I want wood ceilings. Well, with wood ceilings come wood bichos or termites. So what is more important? What do you call upkeep? Or do you want something less upkeep? And now I would never put wood ceilings in any house, in probably all of Costa Rica, but especially not here. Nature is very fierce. And so Carlos has this ability to say, I know you like that, would you consider this? And you can see in all of our houses, they're made of concrete construction with wood highlights. So we don't have to worry about it. We get the feeling of the wood, but we don't have to worry about it.
I love it. So any final thoughts for people coming to Punta Uva and finding their place here? Any advice or any thoughts for them?
It depends on why they want to come here, but I will say this. You can be as engaged in the community as you want, or you can be completely private. Now, Carlos and I are very private, but we have friends who live in this area from all over the world, and they have a big network of people. So I would say that. And also, if you're going to come here, you probably be happier if you are more of the types of people who love nature. This is like the nature's paradise. You cannot find this anymore.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Yeah. It's little piece of the prize, to be honest.
Yeah, it is. It is also Punta Uva, because we're this little enclave. It's a small community, and people are very respectful. People are they take care of each other. They check in on each other. So you can be as connected to that community as you want, but because there's a limited opportunity here, you'd be lucky.
But you go and walk on the beach and you find all your neighbors.
Yeah, you see all your neighbors. You cannot escape the neighbors.
Yeah.
Or the neighbors' dogs, for that
Yeah.
matter. It's a very dog-friendly place.
Well, I live in Manuel Antonio, but you did such a great job now. I just want to come here too.
Well, we sometimes joke, we say, why go to the park in
Yes,
Manuel Antonio?
yeah.
It's very famous for
Yeah.
that. Well, you can just sit on your porch
Yeah.
and see the same animals.
Yeah.
But I think one of my favorite memories was when the families were here. And all of a sudden, Carlos and I have a private deck in the back. So when we're with guests, we can be up there. And all of a sudden, we see this group of 4 little kids with walking sticks. And they're about this tall, right?
Yes.
Ding, ding, ding. I said, good morning. What are you doing? We are explorers. And we said, where did you go? We went all the way up the hill. And all we're thinking is this, like the nature. I'm like, oh goodness. And they said, we don't even like to watch our screens.
Oh, wow.
And they came and they played cards. And they helped in the kitchen. And so for me, if we multiply those with a couple of ages, right? Isn't that what we all crave? To be connected again, to have dinner, to talk. To leave the phones. So when we created it, this is only what we did, but there's no speakerphones allowed. We have silence after 9. We ask that people are mindful of their surrounding. That doesn't have to be for the future, but for us, that create all the guests that come who are usually like busy executives or busy people on the phone, didn't even look at their phones. So that's what I was. Find yourself again. Find who you really are.
Well, you built a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful place here, and I'm blown away by what you created and the respect to nature. So thank you so much for sharing, for opening your home to us, and for letting us explore with you.
You're welcome, and we're so grateful as well to share that.
Thank you to share your time with us.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for the tortillas. I'm
Okay, now we're
excited.
at eat.
Yes, let's do
Yay,
that.
Let's eat.